Just check if it's on.
We should be live now.
There we go. All right, we're back.
Yes.
Just again, a huge apology to everyone who is watching. We're trying to tune in. It's been super weird trying to get this
Next week.
Next week will be fine.
It'll be flawless. You will not
It will. I don't really know what's going on overall. Like just now, the computer that we had died, and it was at full charge when we started the stream. So we realized we have to keep it plugged in the whole time. Never used that computer before, so
There we go.
obviously, didn't really know what was going on there. But now, I mean, computer's plugged in. Everything should be good for the rest of this stream. So we'll have to stitch this together for those people watching on demand. But apologies, and next week it'll be fine. But I will shout out Paul because he commented in part 1.
What was he saying?
He said, Greg, bald head,
Yes.
Pep, bald head,
There you go.
and both making questionable decisions during important
But both
matches. Coincidence?
thought of-
I think not.
Both thought of as masterminds and geniuses.
In world football, yes.
So, there you
exactly.
go. I think we can then just move on to club football, which was back this weekend. That's most
Yes.
latest news. First of all, obviously the last game, we're recording this on a Sunday night, was Liverpool Leeds, where Harvey Elliott did seem to break his ankle or something very serious on a tackle. So we're hoping he has the best recovery and very speedy. As
Yes.
18-year-old, he was doing very well for Liverpool.
Dude, he was slotting into that lineup.
He's doing very well.
Doing really well.
Mhm.
Obviously, they didn't show the replay of the challenge or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Which is new.
Well, yes, it
In
is.
the past, they usually show it.
They do, but I think it's good that they maybe didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't even able to find it. I looked it up and I couldn't find it. I know
Yeah.
you said you did. I don't really know how you got to it.
I saw it live.
But did they show the replay live, or did
No.
you just see the tackle?
The live version of it.
So zoomed out.
Yeah.
So so I saw that. I just didn't see the close up.
No, yeah. I don't think anyone I don't think they even, since they didn't show it live, no one has it to show,
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, huge. I mean, it's really bad for Liverpool. Obviously, they had a ton of injury problems last year.
Mhm.
And then just for the young teenager, going into his first season, maybe getting consistent minutes at Liverpool, trying to make an impact, and then gets an injury. Obviously, where everyone is talking about, is he going to play again this season, blah, blah, blah. He did put a selfie up in the hospital saying, thanks to everyone who is supporting me. And I know the announcers of the game at the time said they were like, oh, good to see that he's doing well. I mean,
he's also...
You know what was weird?
Yeah.
It was really, really weird. And I don't really know what to make of it. It makes me feel like, was the tackle really, really bad? So the NBC announcers started comparing it to Christian Eriksen's incident.
Really?
During the Euros.
I did not hear that.
What was the post game?
Oh, okay.
So they started talking about it's similar to the Christian Eriksen incident where
Not as severe, but I get how everyone stopped and was very scared, but
exactly.
Kind of two different.
I don't really know how
there.
those go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Christian Eriksen almost died.
Yeah.
Again, we don't really know the severity of the injury, so it could be he might never play again. Although I hope to God that that's not the case.
No, I don't think it will be. I've seen, obviously, was it Andre Gomez for Everton?
Yeah.
Had the exact same thing, that one time, but he's back playing now. So it sucks because he's so young and it was his breakout season. So hopefully he does get back.
Yeah.
In the next couple months, but. Shout out to Paul as well. Moving on, Arsenal with their first goal and first win today against their relegation rivals.
And they got out of the relegation scrap.
There you go.
They are in 16th. And I saw an Instagram post, and it was by it was in 12th man tweets or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was everyone's talking about how Ronaldo scored 2 goals and Ole is a genius for signing him, but is anyone talking about how Arteta has raised Arsenal 4 spots in the table?
There you go.
I mean, it is true.
The bias towards Man U over
The
Arsenal.
bias between the two
Yeah.
is immaculate.
Yeah.
But they were playing Norwich, so
Relegation rivals, though.
I mean, yeah, it's. I think that's what we have to say.
At this point.
At this point, we have to say, and Paul was stoked.
Yes.
Paul was stoked.
Well,
I don't know if Paul's still in here. I know he was in here before, but Paul was stoked.
what were you expecting from the game? Like, I honestly did not know if Arsenal were going to win that game. I think
I was
Arteta,
expecting a slight win from Arsenal.
yes, which happened. But
It was.
but I'd say Arteta was definitely gone if they lost that game.
What do you think about the comment from Paul after the game? It was Aubameyang for Golden Boot ?
It'd be very interesting. Did he win one a couple seasons ago?
So 2018.
He's always been up
19,
there.
It was like Salah, Mane.
Kane is one.
Well, so it was one. So when Salah
Salah,
first,
Mane, yeah.
so when Salah first came to Liverpool, it was Salah, and then the year after that, it was Salah, Mane tied at 22, and then the year after that, it was Kane, and then what was last?
I think it was Kane again. I'm pretty sure.
So this year it's gonna be Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, exactly. Logical next step. Yes. Or I'd say, I don't know. I think Arteta will just stay because I don't really know why, because the fans don't really seem to like him anymore.
Well, who does?
But like, I feel like the board does, because it's like, oh, former player,
Yeah.
young guy, like.
No, if Arsenal stay in the relegation scrap, he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Like, there's no chance as the club that big that they're gonna be in a relegation.
It's true.
scrap. I mean, dude, if they actually got relegated, I would be blown away. I'd be shocked.
So I think I talked to you about this, or maybe someone else, but I don't think the top six, like the big six, will ever get relegated just because they have the money to just like just buy insane players and just like not get relegated.
They will buy players that are so much better than the people that they are fighting for in their similar positions in the table, that even though they're so much more disoriented than those teams similar to them, they will get out of it and do better just because they've spent so much money on such good players. So it will always, I think they'll always step. That being said, we never know. We got a comment from Paul.
Paul does clarify that.
Okay, so he said Alba won the Golden Boot with Salah and Mane in 2019 when the season after Vardy won it, and Alba was 1 goal behind. So was 2020 the Salah Mane combination?
No, 2019.
Oh, 2019 was. Yeah.
It was a 3-way tie.
Wait, so Vardy won it last year.
Did he?
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. See, this is why we have it live now. We immediately.
Paul's our fact checker.
Paul is fact checks. Yeah. See, even though he's out at Denison College now, he is fact checking. But yeah, so it was then Salah 2018, Salah Mane 2019, Salah Mane Alba 2019.
Kane.
I
swear Kane.
Vardy
won
2020.
Or maybe not.
No, it wasn't then. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but I mean, so Paul, to your point about Alba getting the Golden Boot, I don't see it happening this year, but I actually think it's more likely for him to get and this might bite me like really hard later on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might get
I already
smacked.
I already see you're gonna say something.
But I do think it's more likely that Alba gets the Golden Boot than someone like Patrick Bamford or someone like DCL. Like I think he's gonna get more goals than them because Arsenal are so bad that Arsenal are so poor this year that I think he's just going to feed on some goals, like him and Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, also Leeds. Going back to that Liverpool game, Leeds just look all over the place. Dude. 2 losses, 2 draws this season.
Well, on top of that, like they'll attack, like they'll be on a full-blown attack.
They'll be
with like
7
people up, and then they'll lose the ball, and it's like a 4v2.
Like every time.
And then Luke Ayling just slides in and stops it.
But it's not even like, every once in a while they like go up as a team and like really high like they just do not have a defensive tactic.
Yeah.
Bielsa just no defense.
No,
Like
it's
it's
no defense,
basically
just vibes.
exactly. He plans for offense and then just forgets that there's a defensive part of the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we do have to get back.
We're losing 3-0.
Oh wait, maybe we shouldn't be
Yeah.
constantly going up.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think Leeds will probably underperform as well this season
do
compared
you think
to
Leeds are a relegation contender?
No. Just because I think obviously with the bigger teams they'll get punished that way.
Oh,
But I think with the
100%.
smaller teams they won't. It'll be more even, and I think the defense of the smaller teams might break down easier than like say Liverpool's did this like today.
Brighton v Leeds, what are we saying?
Just one team very strong defense doesn't score. The other team scores not great defense.
It's gonna be a good game.
That would be a very good.
That
Mark it on the calendar.
dude, mark that one
Yeah.
on the calendar. That
Exactly.
is gonna be huge.
And then I guess we already talked about Brighton in the first half. And then Ronaldo. I mean, Man U also.
Dude, well, like Pogba, 7 assists this
Yes,
season so far.
4 goals for Bruno.
Bruno, 4 goals. Ronaldo, 2 goals in 1 game. J-Ling subs on, gets a goal.
Greenwood's still looking very good.
Yeah, I think Greenwood will be affected negatively by the introduction of Ronaldo. Which is...
And Rashford coming back as well. And I think there'll be...
So who's going to start then?
I think Rashford does. Once he's full fitness. I think he might be like phased into the starting lineup with a couple substitutions, but I think he starts every game.
But is it because you think Rashford's better playing on the wing? Because I personally think Greenwood's a better player.
Maybe at this moment, I just know like every Man U fan and probably Ole thinks Rashford just likes him more, you know?
Everyone loves Rashford.
Yeah.
Rashford feeds the kids.
He feeds the kids. I don't know the last time I actually saw him play. It was the Euros, right?
Yeah, it was
but
the
he didn't
Euros.
really play a lot in the Euros.
He just got that penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't really take it.
He was injured, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I went off surgery.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Rashford does start. I'd probably see Sancho as well. Does Sancho then get moved
Sancho
away?
hasn't been performing.
No.
If we're being honest, he has not been performing to start this
He's
season.
kind of been in the shadows though. Like
Yes.
Man U have been doing well, but he hasn't been doing much at all.
No, not at all. And he's a class player, but I would love to see him improve his productivity because I'm seeing, like he'll do a couple ball rolls or a nice mag here and there, but and that's Sancho for
He's
him.
the vibes.
He is the vibes, but that being said, he's not getting consistent completed passes and retaining possession.
With Dortmund, he was
exactly
double digits.
and he's not getting the assists or goals.
Yep.
So if you're saying you're not retaining the ball as much as you should be, you're not completing passes as much as you should be, you're not getting numbers on the board, and he's not doing great defensively, I think the only reason he stays in would be to possibly make the fans happy about the money they spend.
Yeah, because they paid for him.
That's
And that
the
you
only
see that a
reason
lot, yeah.
You do. James, thank you. He said nice setup.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean it's what you like to see.
New viewer.
New viewer, yeah, James, please stay. We'd love it if you would watch and interact. But yeah, I think with his performances over the past 3-4 games, if I was drafting a team without any preconceptions about anyone on the field, I would say you're on the bench. And I would see possible. Nice. Mac looks cute as always.
Thank you.
Mac has so many fans.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I would say you are a player with quality, skill, but you're not putting in the numbers that we need. So we have other people who are fantastic on the bench that can come in for you once they get healthy.
Also, James, Tottenham fan, right?
Yeah, James is a Tottenham fan. I believe. James, you're a Tottenham fan, right?
Unlucky weekend for them as well.
Yeah, it was.
Tanganga with... All over my TikTok was his first yellow card with Zaha. He literally, rugby tackled him. Zaha touched it past him, and he just went in both hands, pushed him, caused a brawl, then got another red card, and then Edouard, their new signing, scored a brace coming off the bench. So Tottenham, after winning 3 out of 3 now, their first loss is heavy against Crystal Palace.
It is heavy, and Patrick Vieira definitely going to. Anthony Randolph says going to take time for Sancho. New team, new expectations. I do agree, Anthony. I think it'll take him probably until I would give him until December. And I think the biggest problem is when you're looking at the squad and you say
so much talent.
You say you have this much talent in the team. There's so many people that can produce numbers. If he's not producing, do you keep him in the starting lineup when the goal is wins, even though you might have someone on the bench who could get you better numbers, but maybe it'll look worse in the media?
It's
a balancing act.
And it's also like at that point when there's that much talent, you know what each player can bring. It's like form.
It is.
Like you can just interchange it like Pep does all the time. It's like someone gets hot, then okay, Lingard, you go in now. Even if you'd say, Greenwood deserves to start, just reputation, Rashford deserves to start. Well, if Lingard is on fire, then put him in there.
Exactly.
And it doesn't even hurt you because they have so many good players.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's all just going to be a balancing act of how much money did you spend on the player? How much is their contract?
Yeah.
What are you giving the player? Like in your contract, are you giving them minutes? Are they promised certain stuff?
Yeah.
And then how much do the fans want to see them?
Exactly.
And it's hard when you build a squad that good with that many players that deserve minutes. You know, Pep and Klopp, and I mean, you could even say Tuchel now, have done it really well. But I'd like to see how Ole, you know, as maybe the last one brought into that frame, how does he balance his players? Is it going to be Ole roulette, or is it going to be people sit on the bench? Like, we're not even talking about Donny van de Beek right now. He's got on the bench the entirety of last season.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute class player. And he got, 3 minutes last game?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Chat's been going.
Yeah, going through the chat right now. James, it's just how Spurs be. I mean, you're not, James, don't worry, you're not as bad as Arsenal. So, I mean, the tough part is that Patrick Vieira is the coach of Crystal Palace, and then
former Arsenal.
His record against you guys, James, has been pretty good. And he continued that. Paul, Patrick Vieira, once a gunner, always a gunner. Exactly, that's what you're just saying. Dominic, can you guys touch base with the Juve situation? Yes, we will in a sec. Anthony Randolph, yeah, but Sancho draws 2 people every time he dribbles, meaning same one in the attacking third is always someone in the attacking third is always open. That's Jaden. Yes, that is something that we haven't touched base on. He does most definitely draw people in. I've just been noticing, here's my take on it. If you're drawing someone in, but then you lose the ball, it doesn't really matter that you drew them in. And I think that his retention rate is too low right now. It almost looks like, and I don't want to say this because Jadon Sancho is one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
I literally have a picture with him. I do. I love it. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm watching and I'm thinking, almost is the Premier League a little bit too fast right now for him? Like, is the speed of the players closing him down? I don't know what it is, but personally, again,
but you see that all the time.
You do. It's gonna take time to adjust to the league, and I think once he adjusts, he could be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think also with that point of he takes defenders away from maybe someone else, but then you say, okay, they have Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes, who already do the same thing. So at that point, the defense almost doesn't try to double team anyone because you need at least one guy on that much talent. So
exactly.
I don't know. I think obviously we see it all the time with new big signings. They, maybe underperform based on maybe high expectations, but I could definitely see him based on playing time, which really might vary coming up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I see him doing well. And then I guess Chelsea, or should we go to Juve?
I want to go to Dominic's point first, just so we can get to that before it's too late. I was actually reading up on it a little bit.
It's bad.
It's funny because everyone last year was like, Juve don't need Ronaldo.
They don't need him, yeah.
Ronaldo doesn't fit the system. Juve will be better without him, blah, blah, blah. And now they're tragic.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
It wasn't at 1 point so far.
1 point
I can
out
look
of,
it up.
like 3 games, I think, is what I saw. But yeah, they lost to Napoli. That's what I was about to say. And I mean, losing to Napoli, of course, Napoli's one of the better teams in Serie A. But let's look at their last however many games.
So lost to Empoli and drew to Udinese, lost to Napoli, and then
Yeah. So I mean, Udinese is a good, like, they're a quality side in Serie A. I mean, you can't say that they're like an incredible team. Juve is expected to beat them. You're not going to be like kicking yourself over a loss to them. But losing to them,
sitting in 16th place.
What? Yeah, I mean, sitting in 16th place, tying to them, losing to Napoli, and then losing to
Empoli.
Yeah, Empoli. I mean, it's just overall, something's gonna have to change, and clearly Ronaldo leaving was not the answer of, now the team's gonna play more fluidly. We're not gonna be just playing through Ronaldo. We're not going to be constantly sending it up to him and letting him do the stuff. I mean, maybe you could also argue for the point they need to adjust to not having Ronaldo.
True.
That might be true.
But
I think it'll be interesting to see come 10 games into the season how they're doing, but it's not looking great right now.
I think it's a bit unfair to say just put all the blame on Ronaldo leaving, because yeah, like you said before, when Ronaldo was there, everyone was like, oh, Ronaldo doesn't do anything. He doesn't really add anything. He's taking time away from Dybala or someone like that.
Yep.
Now that he's left and they're doing bad, everyone's like, oh, they needed him so much. That's the Ronaldo effect. And I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, moving through the comments again. How Van de Beek doesn't play is crazy. Completely agree with you. I think
a loan option.
Yeah, I think you should leave on loan, and I think it should be a loan to buy, because I don't think he should be playing at United anymore. Not only didn't play last year, and they're just getting stronger. And clearly Ole is not putting faith in him.
Well, I did see a quote a couple weeks ago, because a reporter asked him about Donny. He was like, oh, I love him. He brings something no one else brings to the squad in training and everything. Okay,
then maybe bring it to the
maybe play him.
Well, and he gave him like 3 minutes last game, but I was just like,
he's a midfielder. You can't do much in 3. Well, no one can do.
You need time to get into the game.
Yeah.
You can't just throw someone on for 3 minutes and be like, all right, go show me what you got.
Exactly.
It's not gonna work. 3 minutes at the end of the game is time to make someone feel happy that they got into the game.
Yeah.
It is not time for them to prove themselves, because the only thing you can do in 3 minutes is make a crazy shot, make an incredible assist,
but he's not that type of player.
Nothing. And even if he did, like, the chances of that are so low. And what you want from Donny van de Beek isn't for him to make a crazy shot or something. It's you want consistent quality.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you want out of all your players. So I don't care if someone can make an absolute banger of a long shot in 3 minutes. I more care, can you consistently bring quality to my side throughout the game?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him getting more minutes, and I'd maybe like to see more rotation in that Manchester United lineup. James said, thoughts on the Arteta situation, relegation form, and he still gets praise for the Norwich win. If I was their owners, I would get him out as soon as a replacement is found.
We did kind of
we already touched on it a little bit earlier before everyone kind of rolled in, but yeah, I mean, I personally think maybe if Arsenal don't turn it around by mid-October, that he should be gone.
I think these kind of like a World Cup qualification cycle. I think next 3 games will definitely tell a lot more than them waiting, till even, like you said, mid-October. But if he, picks up, I don't know their schedule, but like if he does pick up 3 wins or 2 wins out of 3, I think the pressure will be off a little bit. It'll just be like, oh, rough start, but now they're back.
Exactly. So. And well, going on your point of praise for a Norwich win, I think that praise is kind of necessary because
it's almost relief, I'd say.
Because of how they started, and you kind of have to say, like, good job, you got the win finally. Like, that's a good start point to bringing yourselves back up. but I don't think that it should be a more, okay, that's what we need to build on. Now let's go get more wins, because if you're just beating Norwich, you're going to be sitting second to last in the table. You know what I mean? So, yeah, again, I'm saying mid-October, if he hasn't turned things around, you should get him out. And I think that the Arsenal board, if they're not already, should start looking for a replacement.
They have to be.
In case you have to get him out, because you obviously don't want to be going down to an assistant manager or something like that. You want someone who's going to be able to immediately get you out of the position you're in.
Yeah.
Anthony with the thumbs up. Good stuff. Paul, Juventus and Arsenal, 16th place in the league. Yep. I mean, it's...
There you go.
It's a similar. I mean, I don't think it's a similar situation. I think that, unfortunately for you, Paul, Juventus will be able to bounce back from it, but it's just how well they do. I think Juventus's title is like, you have to win the league, and if you don't, it's not a successful year. And I think that's going to be really hard for them.
Let's not forget the Amazon All or Nothing documentary for Arsenal will be.
It's going to be fantastic.
Great piece of.
It's going to be fantastic. Paul, are you looking forward to the All or Nothing documentary? James said, you can blame Ronaldo leaving, but the club should never be in a situation where that kills their form.
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, yes, he's gone, and the team might have to.
He maybe
adapt.
gave you 20 goals or something a season, but
and I think that like Ronaldo leaving is definitely a part of the reason that their form is dipping. But I think that's Juventus's problem. Like, they should have prepared for the fact that maybe they have to change their play style. They're not going to be able to just whip in crosses. Alvaro Morata's not going to pick up the pieces of Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, you're not going to be able to play him the same way. And they didn't sign a world-class striker to replace Ronaldo, so they're going to need to change their play style. They're going to need to find ways to put in scrappy goals and get goals for Morata and keep him on side. And at the end of the day, looking through the Juventus squad, it's a relatively average and aging squad and not up to the quality for where they want to achieve. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they didn't sign a world-class striker. Dybala is good, but he's not someone where I'd say he's going to carry that team to victory every game and change the way that team looks. He can fit into any really good team in the world, but you need to go put good players around him. Matthäus de Ligt in the back is all right, but you need to strengthen around him.
Yeah, they're kind of aging out of the
Chiellini,
old but good Italian defense to now old but slightly average Italian defense. And that's, we were saying that like 5 years ago, they have old defenders, but like they're really good still. And now, 5 years of age, at that age that they're at, I need to see probably.
Well, I mean, they signed de Ligt, but you need to strengthen around him. You can't just.
He needs a very good partner in center back,
and then you need to strengthen the midfield because the midfield also is not where it needs to be. I wish the owners would get rid of him, but to the Kroenkes, it's not different if we finish 5th or if we finish 16th, because Arsenal still bring in revenue. Yeah, I mean, that's what Mac was saying.
That's a
earlier,
great point. Yeah,
with the big six are never going to get relegated because they're always going to be having.
They just have the money to do it.
And for the owners, they clearly have their sights, like most owners, set on how much revenue they're bringing in. And to be honest, when they're playing so badly, it's like that whole thing where it's like any publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing really badly, but Arsenal, like right now,
but they're in the news every day,
all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? All the time. So yes, they need to get better. They need to do more. But at the same time, you're right, Paul.
They're in a dip. They're still getting that, notice, and they have all the talk. And it's just almost waiting until they're good, and then it's talking about how good they are. It's that kind of balance.
Exactly. Paul then said, thing is with Arsenal right now is that I don't get any joy from watching them on the pitch. So maybe I can get a laugh out of the Amazon documentary. I think we'll all get a laugh out of the Amazon documentary.
I'm going to watch that
immediately.
Thoroughly.
Immediately.
Maybe multiple times.
I'm going to margin note that documentary. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be taking
tears, laughter.
Exactly. It's going to be a great documentary. Yeah. But I mean, do you think it's going to rival Jose Mourinho's?
Looking back at the Tottenham one, the Man City one is definitely better by far.
You think so?
Yes. Tottenham one was entertaining. It's hard because it did get cut off like mid-season because of COVID. So they kind of rushed the end. Yeah. But I don't know. especially that kind of start. It was more a Jose show, I'd say.
It was.
This will
100%.
not be a Arteta show.
No, this will be a
especially if he gets sacked.
Sinking ship. This will be an Arsenal.
This will be. I hope they include a lot of AFTV.
Oh,
and
dude,
Robbie.
that would be so funny.
I hope they include like their reactions to games. I hope, because a lot of Arsenal is the fans. Like you don't see like another club where it's like AFTV or just like other Arsenal fans.
Exactly.
That just
Moving on, we have James saying, could Barca miss top 4 this season? I don't think so. I was just gonna say Depay's doing well.
I don't think he can carry.
Well, no. So Martin Braithwaite just got out with a 3 to 4 month injury. So technically speaking, they're probably no.
So 16th.
But yeah, I think they'll 100% be top 4 in La Liga, and you can take my word for that. Are they going to do well in the Champions League? It all depends on, I think, how well does De Jong play, how well does Memphis play.
It's going to be tough for them in the Champions League. La Liga, I'm not worried about, but
yeah. And then Anthony said after that Real Madrid won and Vinicius is scoring. Did you see the quote from the La Liga president that said, "I'm not worried that Messi left the league because we have young players like Vinicius." So, I mean, coming from a respected man,
El Clasico is gonna be off the rails. Like we're gonna have
seriously
just random Donnies just scoring all over.
No, but like Vinicius is good. Vinicius is gonna keep getting better.
Well, I'm interested.
Real Madrid will finish first.
Camavinga, I'm really interested to see how he plays.
Yeah. Anthony, are you a Real Madrid fan? Seems like you. Oh wait, no. No. The emoji he put afterwards probably suggests that he's not. Tottenham was just an advert for Jose. No, it was.
He was never staying at Tottenham.
No chance.
He just needed that kind of like I'm still here, and then Roma was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take you.
No, remember when he was leaving Tottenham and the reporters like went up to him and they were like pestering him. He was like, "Get away from me! Get away from me!"
Oh yeah.
And then they were like, "Is Jose done?" He was like, "Jose is never done. Jose is inevitable."
Well, and he did make an Instagram last year. Yeah. I followed it. He just started posting like the trophies he's won. He posted his resume on his Instagram pretty much. He like once a week or so, it would be like, love this Porto team, love this Inter team with all the trophies that he's won. And, it worked, I'd say, with Roma.
James, Arsenal doc going to be like a reality TV show. No, seriously, it will be. It's going to be so good.
So excited.
I cannot wait. Braithwaite will save the league. Well, once he gets back from his 3 to 4 month injury.
You hate to see a great player.
I'm actually kind of disappointed because it's fun to see
him actually do kind
of
well.
He does okay. He's not terrible.
Yeah.
Did you know he's got like this like YouTube video or like little mini documentary out about his and him and his friends, or it might be his brother's company that they built for real estate investing.
Mm-hmm.
He's made like plus 100 million off of it. It's ridiculous.
More than his Barca contract.
100%. This guy is smart. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Arsenal All or Nothing is more of a comedy than a documentary. 100%, Paul. Completely agree with you. Yeah. Yes, Anthony. Completely. He may be right. Absolutely. 100%. What do we have next on the agenda?
I'd say one more thing until we kind of wrap up with our fantasy check-in as we do.
Yes.
But we can touch on Lukaku.
Dude.
Brace at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea just look inevitable, as they say. It's going to be a very good title race.
I was watching the Premier League, whatever it is, after it was yesterday's Goal Zone, and they were talking about how there's not been in however many years 4 teams that genuinely think that they can win the title, and like all of their fans do and everything. Like there are 4 teams. I have no idea who's going to win the title. No idea.
I have 2.
So is City in that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think City's going to win.
City and Liverpool, I don't see getting near.
But that's because the hype right now is around Lukaku and Ronaldo.
Yeah, I see Chelsea and Man U.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
I don't know. If City or Liverpool win, I'll be kind of disappointed. Because I don't really want to see them win. Considering they already won
I
in the
want
past.
someone
I
new.
want someone new.
Chelsea is my favorite, I'd say.
Chelsea or Man United, I would love to win, or Brighton, obviously. That would be pretty sweet if Neil Maupay won like the Golden Boot or something. But no, Paul just put in the chat, and I'll just go right to that one, and then I'll go back to the ones previously. Lukaku or Ronaldo. We had a little debate about this, and I don't know if you read it in the chat, but in
Yes,
FPL
I
Draft
did,
Kings,
yeah.
which is our FPL Draft fantasy draft chat with a few guys that are in here. We were debating Ronaldo and Lukaku, and some people were like, "Oh, Lukaku has better stats, and he is doing
younger.
statistically better, scoring better, more goals, and doing better for his club and country than Ronaldo." And then the other argument is, well, Ronaldo's the GOAT. So who do you think is going to get more goals this season?
Lukaku, based on the fact that I know he will start every game. Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo always proves me wrong. I'm not
That's
gonna
what
lie.
I'm thinking.
When he went to Juve, I was like, oh, so he's kind of over now.
Exactly.
And then he does extremely well the first year, and then obviously still does well relatively to every player.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Southampton who's looking at Ronaldo or Lukaku, I'd still say Lukaku. But I'm kind of more biased towards younger player, longevity.
There's always just a little bit more hype around.
Yes. Ronaldo is just that solid player that will give you the goals.
We can't say Ronaldo's a solid player. Ronaldo is a GOAT, and he's going to get goals.
He will score goals that no one else will.
Exactly, and he's also going to poach goals.
Exactly,
like we saw him do in his re-debut. He's going to bag this season, but Lukaku's also going to. It's going to be really hard. I think the Golden Boot race will be between them two.
Really?
Yeah.
Two newcomers.
Or Mo Salah might be in there.
Yeah, I don't see Kane keeping up this year either.
No.
Especially without Son for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got injured. So, what else we have before we go into the
City
draft?
will get someone in January. Yes, they probably will. Bernardo Silva did. Before yesterday or whenever when City played, I would have said they're probably going to get rid of Bernardo Silva. But Bernardo Silva literally scored yesterday, so
it's true.
Clearly, everyone on that team is so good. They need a better striker. I don't think Jesus is going to cut it if they want to win the Premier League. Obviously,
or they just go the false nine.
Yeah, they're going with the false nine a lot, but it's going to get a bit predictable. And also, I think it's easier to play better if you just have someone like Lukaku or Ronaldo.
Yeah, because they're just automatic.
Exactly. When you have a false nine, you need your wingers to be really active in getting in the box.
It's a lot more intricate play.
Exactly. And so it needs to work really well. And that can happen, but Pep's going to have to be much more consistent with all of his players throughout the season than Chelsea or Man United, who it's like, okay, well, if Ronaldo turns on this game, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, I think City do need to sign someone in January. Will they? I'm not necessarily sure.
I don't know. You never know with City because they have the money, but it's just if they want to.
Dom said, James, Liverpool have more talented depth than Spurs. I mean,
I think that's a great point. I think it's pretty even. Liverpool, obviously, with their injury worries, I actually would say Liverpool have more depth. Spurs have always seemed to have maybe 3 decent players on their bench to come off, but Liverpool, I don't know, I trust their academy more. Curtis Jones, obviously Harvey Elliott didn't come from their academy, but yet another young player. I don't know, I see Liverpool having more depth there.
Yeah. Did we get all of these comments in? Dude, there's so many I can't keep up. Going back. Braithwaite Company is currently valued over 250 million USD. That's ridiculous. We already talked about Lukaku or Ronaldo. I think Spurs can take Liverpool's spot in top 4. Well, James, you're a Spurs fan, so I mean, yes and no.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly. City will get someone. We just talked about that.
Should we go into the fantasy?
Yeah. If Spurs finish above Liverpool, I will wear a Spurs kit for 48 hours straight. Paul, I don't feel like that's a high enough stake for you. I mean, I'd say a week straight. If you really want people to be
if you want to get people excited.
Yeah, if you want to get people going, I'd say you got to go for a week straight.
Yeah.
Arsenal top 4, and I'll get a Don Robbie tattoo. When Rashford comes back, how do you think Man United will line up? We talked about that a little bit earlier.
You can look back in it.
Just to like go over what we said, we think that either Sancho or Greenwood will come out.
Rashford just with his reputation will start.
Yeah, I said that it's probably going to be Greenwood. I think Mac agrees with me just because of how Sancho was bought for so much, and I think as we talked about like regarding Anthony's comments earlier, like you need to give Sancho a bit more time because of how much he spent, because of how good of a player he is. He needs to adjust a bit. So yeah, I think Rashford will get into the squad, but I do think there'll be a good amount of rotation because like Greenwood needs to play still.
Yeah.
You know, like he's not just gonna sit on the bench. So I think there'll be more rotation, but Rashford will start. As of now, I think they should give Ferran Torres or Sterling a run of games at striker.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think Sterling. I think Ferran would be a decent idea.
I think they have played him at striker a couple times.
But I do think that a January signing would be necessary because I don't think you can rely on Ferran. Same thing with Jesus. I don't think you can necessarily rely on them. Josh Sargent Golden Boot. We love to see it.
Suddy loves that.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
Suddy
producer Sutton in the back.
Fellow Ginger.
Yeah, he's a fellow Ginger. And
at the moment, I don't see.
At the moment, I don't see it happening. Didn't he score or he got a brace in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Or was it Carabao Cup?
I don't know. League Cup.
Yeah, it was one of the cups that he got a brace. But clearly with his national team form right now, I'm not sure that that's gonna translate.
World Cup qualifiers, Golden Boot, maybe no.
Yeah. Paul said 72 hours. No, I'd say up to a week, and then we've got a deal.
There you go.
All right. Moving on to the finishing stuff for this week. We always go through our fantasy if you are new or you haven't been watching entirely lately. So at the moment in the Class and Grass Media FPL,
FC Groin Pull is
Groin Pull is in the lead, and
followed by Linwood FC.
That was what it was last year as well.
Yes. If you're looking for where we are,
dude, I'm last, and I'm trying.
Obi-Wan Bisaka.
Dude, that's a great name.
Is 7th. That's me, and then Muzzo's 11, Glenn Murray, is in dead last. But then, so for this week, we can go through the points.
Yeah.
I got 47. Who do I have? 47, Stones and Mount didn't play, I believe. So I'm going to get Basuma and Pookie in there.
Yeah. But why do you still have Stones, dude? Like, I don't understand it. You need
because I don't change my team.
Transfer Stones out.
47, better than last week. I don't even know what I got last. I think it was really bad. Adams also didn't play this week, so I will get like an extra 5 points probably from that. And that's for the league. And then for the draft, I think I'm playing Dominic, who I don't know if he's still in the chat. But
he is. He just said Sutton quit the FPL league, and then he had a sad face. Sutty, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
You did, yeah, well, I mean, you didn't, like, you're not changing around your team. Like, you drafted, right? But then you're not changing around your team, so you're losing every game.
I kind of just had hope in
Josh Sargent. Yeah, and Anthony came back saying, haha, Josh Sargent, that was a joke. I mean, to be honest, like, if Josh Sargent wins the Golden Boot for the Premier League, what will we do?
I don't look like a genius.
You are, Sonny. You're gonna look like an absolute.
We'll just stop
genius.
the podcast.
No.
We'll be frauds.
We'll be frauds.
No, we'll put his jersey up.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Sonny, can you show full background?
Yeah, I got you.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right where Pulisic's jersey is, we'll switch it to a Sargent jersey. If Sargent Sargent by January is the leading goal scorer of the Premier League.
Okay.
We'll put it. We will.
No, let's say more than.
If he has
more than 10.
If he has more than 5.
More than 10.
Okay, if Sargent has more than 10
10
goals,
or more. 10 or more.
10 or more, then we will put a Sargent jersey up in January.
Yes.
All right.
So for the draft.
Did you get my team in the draft, or did you even run through the teams or not? I know I had like 50-something points this week.
I can. So I have 30 right now. I still have Nick Pope and Luca Digne to play. Wow, Lewis Dunk with 8 points.
Dude, Lewis is great. It was bonus points as well.
Yes. Yeah, I'm playing Dominic's team, who's at 33 right now. So you for the draft, you're playing Eli.
Dude, Eli, I am crushing you. I don't know if you're
48 to 22. It's not even a competition there. And then for you in the class on grass,
I'm sitting at last, and I don't understand.
You're last. You have 55
this
points.
Week, and look at last week.
Last
week
60. So but your attack is letting you down.
Vardy,
Mape, Pukki, and Sarr all have 2 points.
My defense is fantastic.
Lewis Dunk has technically the most points, tied with Bruno.
My defense is fantastic.
So that's
the
fantasy
roundup. We will probably just finish it out here.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulties from like the beginning of the pod when we like got a few minutes in and then it cut out because of the battery of the computer. But next week we'll have everything running smoothly. We'll still stitch this together so that anyone who wants to watch on demand, if you want to let someone know about the podcast, they can, and they'll be able to watch
on
it.
YouTube. It'll probably stay at 2 parts.
Yeah, on YouTube it'll probably stay
just because it saves the live stream,
but we'll put it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and everything. And then so if you want to watch anything on demand or show it to someone, you can. And then we'll be back next week. We'll probably be doing like later on Sundays
around the same time.
Because when we do it early morning, it's harder for people to watch because they'll either be watching the Premier League or they'll be sleeping.
It's a great pre-dinner.
It is. No, it's a great pre-dinner little thing that you can do. So hopefully today was good, and then we'll finish it out after these 2 questions, and then next week we'll be back. Hopefully we get all of you guys back. The comment section was fantastic.
Keep it up, guys.
It was super fun. I have to admit, it's way more fun than doing a regular podcast because we actually get to interact with you guys. Last one from Paul. Lenny put Mape in his fantasy team. Paul, you know me. Of course I put Mape in my fantasy team. Okay, but here's the thing. Mape will bag like these little tap-ins throughout the season. He'll get 10. He'll get 10 goals.
10s.
I think he'll get 10.
Who'll get more, Josh Sargent or...
Dude, that's not even a question. Neil is going to get 10 goals.
We'll see.
Okay, if Neil doesn't get 10 goals, Paul, I will buy a Leno jersey.
There you go.
Okay? That is on video right now. I will buy a burned Leno jersey if Neil does not get 10 goals. And then Dom, lastly, Ronaldo got me 10 points. Ronaldo is... Unfortunately, you can't captain people in the FPL draft.
Yeah.
Because I know you would have captained Ronaldo. And also, how did you snake Ronaldo?
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Bidding?
I was like, oh, wow.
Dude, that is great stuff from you, Dom. But until next week, hopefully you all have a good week, and we will see you next time. Peace. Be good.